So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to work out the ROI. So first of all, we've got to work out how much we had to put in the deal. So let's go back a page. So the amount you'd need to find to buy that property would be 10 grand deposit, £1.5 in stamp, £1,000 for solicitors, 500 quid for evaluation, and then £1,000 for that light refurb, which was just cleaning the carpets, putting a couple of light shades up and bits like that. So you need to find 14 grand. Still with me? Give me a thumbs up if you're still with me. So I'm going to go to the next page. Good. So, if we add our total costs, or total amount you'd need to find is 14k, and we know we can get 475 a month times 12 is 5,700 a year. So if you've got 5,700 a year coming in, minus your mortgage payment, so minus your mortgage payment, which was 1,600, which was 4% of 40, and I've been harsh there, you'll get mortgages probably 3%. Which you'd take that down to actually 1,200. So you'd have an extra 400 quid on there. There's an extra 500 quid that you'd have on there, realistically. Because a good broker, so people that I have in my community, part of my power team, that help people in my community, would be able to get a mortgage of around about 3%. Which would mean you'd actually have 4.5 grand here. But we're looking at things on the sort of conservative side. To give us that buffer. So we know 5,700 is the renting, minus the interest only mortgage payments equals 4,100. That's our profit. So what you do now is you go total costs and you divide your profit. So you do 4,100 divided by 14,000. Someone do that figure now. So do 4,100 divided by 14,000. Someone give me that figure now. So 4,100 divided by 14,000. And then you need to times it by 100, sorry. So then you need to times it by 100. So 4,100 divided by 14,000 times by 100 is 0.29. So is 29% ROI. 29% ROI. Which means every 3 years you are tripling your money. Every 3 years your money is tripling. Now, if you also buy below market value and you're making 15, 20 grand every time you buy, not only are you getting that massive ROI, you are also you're getting the gain of 15, 20 grand every time you buy below market value. Now, you might look at this and go, well, you might look at it and go, well, I can't find properties like that in my area. That's limited thinking. There's nothing stopping you, and we've got people on here from Germany, there's nothing stopping you ringing up, putting an offer in on that property and buying it and asking a local estate agent to manage it for you and take 10%. So all you should do with that is you take off a management fee off that figure there, which should bring this down a bit. Well, we already know we exaggerated the mortgage interest rate. We said that it was going to be 4%, when we already know we can get a rate less than that. What is the times 100 for? The times 100 is to give you the ROI figure. And you're saying buy-to-let lenders want a minimum of 125%. Well, you've got miles more than 125%. So, if their figure is 1,600 quid, all you've got to do is times that by 1.25. So the question from Pete there is, buy-to-let lenders want a minimum of 125%. Yeah, they do, most of them. So do the figures. So if you've got your calculators now, do 1,600 times by 1.25, and that'll give you your 125%. So someone do that figure for me now. So you're just doing, so what Pete has asked there is the lender, so let's say that's Barclays, they want you to have 125%. So they want you to be able to have in rent to cover all the mortgage and an additional 25%. For a bit of a buffer. So there we go, people are coming back now with 2,000. So if you do 1,600 times by 1.25, we only need to generate 2,000. Well, how much are we generating? We're generating 5,700, and we only need to generate 2,000 for the banks to be happy. So we are way over the debt service ratio, what the lenders ask for. Way over it. So, on a property like that, I've gone on Rightmove, guys. That's, you click now, go and put TS10 in, them properties are sat there now. I've not fucking... It's not a fix, it's not some magic fucking shit that I've put on the screen. I've gone on Rightmove and I've searched why user online and shown you that there's a property there, I can buy it with 14 grand, and that was me inflating the interest payments. We know we can get them for less than that. We can get them less than 4%. We can get them from around about 3%. So the ROI is actually higher than that figure. But if you've got a management company looking after it, that'll probably even things up. So you'd get a bit of a lower rate at 3%, which would give you another 400 quid. Well, 10% of that figure, that third one, is going to be around about 570. So your ROI would drop a tiny little bit, and that's for it to be fully managed. So there's nothing stopping you. Let me get my chair. There's nothing stopping you guys to buy property. Let me just remove that. There's nothing stopping you buying property in another area. That is the most basic strategy that you can possibly do in property, and look at the kind of returns you can get just off one property. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put something else on the flip chart. I'm just going to wrap up with one little thing, and I'm going to show you how to sort of scale that now. What I want to show you now is if this was the amount of properties we had, so if this was sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 properties, So this is the amount, and this is the years. So if this was sort of 0, starting point, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Is that in the screen? Is that in the screen all right? I'm just going to try and turn the light off and see if it's a bit better. 1 sec. Is that better or worse? Is that better? If it's better, write better in the comments. If it's worse, write worse. Better or worse with the light on or off? Hit me up. Is it better? Type better in the comments. Worse. Better. Oh, we've got worse. Worse. Okay, worse it is. Lights on. So, what we're going to do now is if we bought that one property, we're going to recycle our money back out. So, if you bought your first house, so that's first house. If we bought that house and we bought it below market value, if I was to go on sold prices, I guarantee you that we'd be able to see there's an average higher than that on the street. We're not going to go right into that now. So I'm going to do a little arrow up. And I know I'm jumping into things quite fast here. So if we bought that first house and we bought it below market value and we remortgaged it and pulled the money back out, in year 2, we'd now have 2 houses. Little arrow going up because it means we buy below market value again, pull our money back out. In year 3, we now have 3 houses. This one, we pull the money back out. And we just rinse and repeat. And then if we start to get a gain, so on this first one, if that starts to go up in value at a couple of % each year, at this point here, if we can pull money back out of it again, we can now buy another one. So in this 5th year, if this one's bought below market value, you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But if we can now remortgage this one as well, we can now have another one up here. And that's how it starts to scale, guys. In a nutshell, you can start to scale really quickly. Now, you might look and you might say, well, where do I get 14 grand from? Getting 14 grand is the easiest thing that you could ever do. And you might think, that's easy for you, it's not easy for me. So, when I'm teaching on my 3D advanced training, I show you exactly how to get money. I show you how to have investors bringing money to you, and you'll end up having more money than you can possibly deal with. So, when I train people, the amount of people that said to me, I've seen your videos on YouTube and I've seen you talking into investment, and I heard you say that you'd be able to show us how to get investors to back money and things like that. And I honestly thought that I wouldn't be able to do that because I didn't really know anyone, didn't really have any family with a lot of money, and I'm not sort of connected that way at all. If you know how to position yourself on social media and you know exactly what to do and what to write, you will have investors fighting over giving you money. And that I absolutely guarantee. So I have raised in personal finance over 3 million quid. And that's without any effort at all, just by knowing exactly what to do. And some of the people that I've taught have generated more money in private investment than what I have from using them techniques that I've taught, because I don't need to push it that hard. But finding 14 grand is a piece of piss. You might also, if you've got any money sat in your house, so if you've got money in your own mortgage and it's at 3 or 4%, and you've already seen we made an ROI on that other picture of 29%. So if you're paying 3%, say for example, so if you pulled out, say 100 grand out of your home, might not be as much as that, but if you pulled out 100 grand for ease of maths, at 3%, it's going to cost you 3 grand a year. 3 grand. Now with 100 grand, we needed 14,000 to buy one of those houses. 14 grand. So if we had 100 grand, we could basically buy 7. And we were clearing 4,100 per property. So 7 times 4,100 is 28,700. So it would cost you 3 grand a year to remortgage 100 grand out your house, and you could turn it into 28,700, just to put that in perspective. This is the difference of knowing what you're doing. And this is why I laugh when people say, oh, another fucking property entrepreneur and all of that bullshit. I know how to do this stuff. I've been doing it for 15 years, so I know exactly how to get finance. I know how to get investors. I know where to find property below market value. I know exactly what to do in an auction. I know how to pull properties before they even go in an auction or before they even go on Rightmove. So I have particular strategies that I use where I'm offered property before it even goes to the market. So where 99% of yous lot watching this are waiting for things to go on Rightmove, I don't even wait for that point, because I've got other strategies that allow me to get them properties before you're even going to see them. So I've got a massively unfair advantage. And these are the kind of things what I teach on the 3-day.